Yo, Peace was good. We'll get to this from my CD collection. This is part 128. I did 127 about a day or two ago. So this is pretty much a continuation of 127. I just wanted to break it in two parts. So I'm just going to call this 128. So it's about like 1:13 in the morning. So, I unfortunately can't play the music because, I live in an apartment and then my brother's work, he has to wake up in the morning at work and for work. And then, I live in an apartment and you got the neighbors and shit. So, I have to do this without no music, but, it's all good. So, let's get on to CDs that I got. All right. So, the first one we're going to show is MC Breed with It's All Good, released in 1999. You gotta love the pen and pixel covers. No limit, Cash Money, and a couple other people from the Midwest and the South was known for in the 90s. I believe this is his. I want to say his sixth or seventh album. I'm just gonna say I want to say it's his seventh album because he has a whole bunch of albums, but yeah, this is his seventh album. Yeah, MC Breed, like I love MC Breed, but he's like one of those cats that over the years is like his music has just gone gradually worse in my opinion, just my personal opinion. Um, I mean there was some decent songs on here. The singles of the album I believe was Gangsta Shit and It's All Good. I think those are the two singles of the album. Um, Songs that I do like Let's Go to the Club. That was pretty cool. Um, Business Never Personal was pretty good. Um, Smoke with a Nigga and Boom Boom. Those are the only songs I fuck with. Again, another album again like with MC Breed. Like his early stuff was a lot better. I just feel like over the years like he just went downhill from there. And then rest in peace to MC Breed. Oh, I forgot to mention. Rest in peace to Ecstasy of Houdini. He passed away a couple of days ago. He was only 56 years old. And MC Breed, he died in 2009 due to kidney failure. He was only 37 years old when he passed away. But I pretty much got a good amount of his albums. I have the first album, him and DFC. Was saying of dropping an album back in '94. I think it's called "It's All Good in the Hood" or some shit like that. I forgot the name of it. I have it though. I have the 20 Below album. I have the New Breed album, which in my opinion, that's his magnum opus. My personal opinion. So if somebody was to ask me, what's a good album to start with, MC Breed, I will go with the New Breed, or you even start the first album. But if you really want to get the gist of MC Breed, I would go with the New Breed album. I have Functified. I have Big Baller, which I showed you guys the other day. I have To the Beat Y'all. And now I got this. So I got that. So I just got to get a Flatline, and then that's good. That's it. I know he dropped a couple of other albums, like The Pharmacist and like '03 and some other albums, but not really interested in those. I would rather just get his '90s stuff, But yeah, MC Breed It's All Good. Released in 1999. It's okay. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's what it is. Alright, next album, we're gonna go to Chicago. We're gonna go with Twista with Mobstability, Twista and the Speedknotz Mobstaz. This is released in 1998. I remember I used to always see this album in stores a lot, especially in the late 90s. I used to always see it a lot. I've always liked the cover, but I just never picked it up, and I was never a big Twista fan like that, you know what I mean? This is my personal opinion, but yeah, Twista. This is a collaborative album with Twista and the Speedknotz Monsters, which obviously they're affiliated with with Twista himself. And the single of the album is "In Your World" featuring Christopher Williams. Yeah, it's the same Christopher Williams with the song I'm Dreaming. I'm Dreaming from the New Jack City soundtrack. Everybody knows that song. Yeah, the light skinned nigga from New Jack City. Oh man, that's funny. They have a dope song where they go at Bone Thugs, called Crook County, which they going at Bone Thugs and Harmony. Bone Thugs they were beefing with mad people. Like they were beefing with 3 6 Mafia. and yeah, they would be from 3 6 Mafia. Then they and then because 3 6 Mafia had a song called "Live by Your Rep," which was also an EP that dropped in '95, and that song was also featured on the Mystic Styles soundtrack. I mean, excuse me, Mystic Styles album. Excuse me. And then they were going at 3 6 was going. No, I'm sorry. Bone Thugs were going after, Twista, Crucial Conflict, Do or Die. The song You Ain't Bone, talk about the clones. So they were talking about, Do or Die and Crucial Conflict, and obviously, Twista as well. So, Do or Die, they came out with a song off their second album, the Heads or Tails album. I think it was called Bustin' Back. They went in on Bone Thugs. I'm sorry. You Ain't Bone was dope, but as far as like the venom, the more sting, I'm gonna have to get that with Bustin' Back. But getting with this album, this album, Crook County again as another dope song. Like I said before, they're going at Bone Thugs, and I thought that was pretty cool. Notable songs that I like from them is like I said, Crook County, Mob Up was pretty good. Front Porch was pretty good, featuring Danny Boy of Death Row Records. That was pretty good. Mobstability, the self-titled track, Warm Embrace, and Loyalty. Those are the notable. This is like the more standout tracks for me. But yeah, it's a pretty good album. So if you guys like that style, like that Do or Die, Bone Thugs, fast-paced rap type style, then I think you guys would definitely enjoy this. It's not for everybody, but it was good to have. You know what I mean? So 'cause I like to get different styles of hip hop, man. So yeah, but Twista and the Speedknotz Monsters released in 1998 with Mobstability. Alright, next album, we're gonna go to Houston, Texas. We're gonna go with the Fifth Ward Boys with Usual Suspects. This is released in 1997. I believe this is their fourth album, I want to say, because I have Gangsta Funk, I have Rated G, which is my favorite album from them. I need to get Ghetto Dope. I don't have Ghetto Dope, but I have Gangsta Fuck, like I said before, and I have Rated G, and now I got this. So yes, so this is the fourth album. The single of this album is I Know featuring Scarface. That's a single of the album. Dope songs, like the standout tracks for me is Gangsta Shit featuring Spice One and Mr. Slim. That was pretty good. Hustlin' was pretty good. Live Your Life. Big Faces was pretty dope. The I Know song with Scarface, that was pretty good. Let me see what else. Gotta Be Down to Die, that was pretty dope. And Something to Ride. So yeah, pretty good album. Not the best, but I prefer, like I said, like the early stuff like Rated G and Gangsta Funk. I haven't heard Ghetto Dope yet. Would like to get my hands on that, but with Rap A Lot Records, a lot of stuff is out of print, and they go for a lot of money. Just like with the old Cash Money records, old Cash Money discography, No Limit, and then Rap A Lot is like no different. But good to have. It's not the best in the world, but it's decent. It's something to ride to. But I actually enjoyed it. But Fifth Ward Boys with Usual Suspects released in 1997. All right, now we're gonna go to Richmond, Virginia. We're gonna go with Mad Skillz with From Where. This is released in 1996. A great album. Love this album. This is a classic album, in my opinion. Dope album. It's known for two singles, The Nod Factor and Move Your Body. Those are the singles of the album. Even though those songs are not the best songs in the world, but the album cuts definitely make up for the song. At first I didn't like The Nod Factor because used that, I forgot the sample, but it's been used a lot. But the way it was flipped, when I've heard the Psycho Les, I think it was Psycho Les, there was a Psycho Les interview that they did with Filler Flavor with Take It Personal, where they talked about the song Not Factor. It's like, I like the way you flip that, and then I had to revisit that song. I'm like, okay, this shit kind of sound excuse me, sound kind of dope. But the Nod fact, the Nick Wiz remix, fire. Highly recommend that. That was fucking dope. Wish that was on the album, at least as a as a bonus track or some shit like that. Um, but my favorite songs of the album for me is "It's Going Down." That's fucking dope. Tongues of the Next shit, that was dope. Doing Time in the Cipher, Tip of the Tongue, Extra Abstract Skills was just dope. It features Lost Professor, Q-Tip, and obviously Mad Skills. I like to play on with their names, their aliases, like Extra being Extra P, Lost Pro, the Abstract being Q-Tip, and Skills being Mad Skills. So that was very clever. I enjoyed that. That was pretty dope. Get Your Groove On was pretty cool. The Jam, that's probably my favorite song off the album. Love that song. He had a line where he says, "You better not fuck around or put H's. I put H's in your IV." Like, whoo, that was dope. That was ill. All In It was pretty good. The Unseen World, Inherit the World. Those are to me the standout tracks. Overall, very dope. This album was out of print for a while, and then they were released in 2011. But I was just happy to have this. This is definitely the OG pressing. But yeah, releasing a Big Beat Records. So yeah, this album tends to go for a little bit of money. It fluctuates because for a while that the prices for this album was a little up there in price. Not expensive to break your pockets, but it was a little up there. But it fluctuates from time to time. So if you're patient, you just want to, you'll catch a break. You know what I mean? But yeah, From Where, my Mad Skills released in 1996. Dope shit. Next album, we're gonna go to LA or wherever you wanna, picture. You wanna put his location from, but we can go with Shaquille O'Neal with Respect. This is released in 1998. This is the last album that he dropped as an artist. I believe the single of this album is The Way It's Going Down, featuring Peter Guns. That was like the only single of the album. Overall, this is not a good album. This is like not memorable. I prefer his first three albums: the Shaq Diesel album, the Shaq Fu The Return album, and You Can't Stop It Rain. In my opinion, those are his best albums, and obviously the production helped him. But I mean, he's not the best MC in the world. He's like horrible, but he's entertaining. You know what I mean? The songs that I do like from him are Fiend 98, which is like a play on like Microphone Fiend by Eric B. and Rakim. The Way It's Going Down, featuring Peter Guns, like I said, the single. Let's see what else. Gotta Let Me Know, that was pretty cool. And The Bomb Baby, those are the only singles, those are the only songs I fuck with. Everything else, again, I wasn't really crazy about it. It just felt rushed, and like the production was like all over the place. It was like inconsistent, and I don't know. It was like West Coast and it was East Coast. Like I don't know. It was like all over. Even though he did that on the first two albums, but I don't know. This album was like all over the place. And by that time, I think he was with the Lakers at that time, and he was like more focused on like movies and like basketball. So like music was pretty much like on a back burner at this point, and it kind of showed on this album. But yeah, just glad to own it, you know what I mean? But now I can say I have all Shaq's albums. So yeah, Shaq with Respect, released in 1998. I do like the album cover, even though it's very cheesy, but I do like it for some odd reason. But it has like that PlayStation, like that, PS1 from like 96, 97, or even 98, kind of have like that vibe, like some like Shaq Fu 2000 or some shit like that, it just got that vibe, so, but yeah. Shaq with Respect, released in 1998. Alright, next album, we're gonna go with Zion I, with the album The Takeover. This is released in 2008. Yeah, Zion I, they're a hip hop group. I believe they're from LA. They're more of like, what people would call like backpackers and that kind of thing, which I hate that term, but that's what they use. The only single off this album is Juicy Juice. And overall, I did not like this album at all. Yeah, I just feel like it was a little bit too experimental. You know, I'm all for experimentation, but it's just like, you know, it has to be done right, you know. And, you know, with this album, you know, they were kind of going for like the more live instrument, like organic production, live instrumentation. They was using more like the more African, you know, style of music, like, you know, like with the Congos and like the tribal type music, and they were trying to do that with this music. It just didn't work for me. It's not for me. This is me personally, you know what I mean? But I do respect the fact that they try to experiment, but it's a little bit too experimental at times. Like, it could go a little bit too left, you know. And I'm open minded. I'm an open minded guy. I really tried to listen to it. It didn't really do anything for me. But yeah, The Takeover by Zion I, released in 2008. Let me get a swig of water. Spill water myself. All right. Next album, we're gonna go to Virginia. We're gonna go with Missy Elliott with Super Duper Fly. Missy Elliott has a debut album was released in 1997. Yeah, definitely a classic album right here. You know what I mean? I already showed you guys the Missy So Addictive album. I showed you guys the last video, and then I showed you guys their her second album, The Real World, which in my opinion is her best album. That's her magnum opus. That's just my personal opinion. But known for singles like The Rain, Super Duper Fly, Hit 'Em with the He with Little Kim, Sock It To Me with The Brat, and Beat Me 911. Those are the 4 singles of the album. Standout tracks for me, I would have to say Hit 'Em with the He, Sock It To Me, let's see what else. Beat Me 911 with 702. Very underrated R&B group. Love them. That No Doubt album from '96, fire. Yeah. Let me see what else. They Don't Want to Fuck With Me featuring Timbaland. That was pretty cool. Pass the Blunt. Whew, that shit goes hard. Friendly Skies with Genuine. That was pretty dope. Best Friends was pretty dope. Don't Be Coming in My Face. Pause. Why You Hurt Me and I'm Talking. And yeah, those are the standout tracks for me. Pretty good album. Pretty good. But again, my personal opinion, I prefer the original. I prefer The Real World. That's just me personally. But yeah, Missy Elliott with Super Duper Fly, released in 1997. It's her debut album. Alright, next album, we're gonna go to Houston, Texas, and we're gonna go with Ghetto Boys. I believe this is their 6th album, The Good, Bad, and Ugly. This is released in 1998. This came out 2 years after their album, the Resurrection album, which is very underrated. I've that album and Till Death Do Us Part are my favorite albums from the Ghetto Boys. I know a lot of people say We Can't Be Stopped or the Grip It on the other level, but I've always preferred the Resurrection and you know, Till Death Do Us Part. So yeah, so like getting back to this album, because on Till Death Do Us Part, Willie D had left the group to do a solo career, and then, you know, Big Mike, which I showed you guys his album, The Hard to Hit, he became like Willie D's replacement. But he was only there on that first album, and then right after Resurrection came out, he had left the group. He had left Ghetto Boys, and then Willie D returned. But this thing with this album, there's no Bushwick Bill. Bushwick Bill left the group to, you know, do his solo career. Excuse me, to do a solo career. Rest in peace, Bushwick Bill, by the way. The only single of this album was "Gangsta Put Me Down." That was like the only single of the album. Yeah, I think this is like the last one they put out as a group until they came out with an album called Foundation back in 2005, and I heard, you know, a couple songs here and there. It was kind of meh in my opinion, but the standout tracks for me is Afro and I. Let's see what else. Bitches and Hoes. But on here it says B's and H's. Those that's what it says, but it's bitches and hoes. Like some hoes, like some H's. I don't fuck with you. Free. They bitches. Gangsta put me down. And Street Game. Those are the only songs I like. Everything else is kind of like, it was like all over the place in my personal opinion. But yeah, it's a decent album. It's not the best in the world, but it's not as bad as people make it out. Because I even shunned this album too, but this album is definitely not touching their early albums. I don't care. It's not even touching it. Not even a fucking flick on the finger. It's not touching that. It's not touching the self-titled album. It's not touching We Can't Be Stopped. It's not touching Till Death Do Us Part. It's not touching The Resurrection. It's just not touching that. But you could definitely tell that they were kind of like over the group at this point. They were kind of like, focused on their own careers. You could kind of tell, you know what I mean? Because especially with Scarface. So Scarface, he's he had his own lane. Like he definitely brought on like the more serious tone when it came to the group. Like with the whole mental illness flow. Same thing with Bushwick Bill. Whereas Willie D was like more like the comedy rap. Not comedy rap, but you know what I'm trying to say. He was kind of like the no nonsense like comedy guy. Like fuck your bitch. I'm like he's like the Tyrone. I'ma fuck your wife. He like that type of nigga. You know what I mean? But yeah, this is okay. It's not the best in the world, but it's alright. But yeah, this is Ghetto Boys, their sixth album, The Good, Bad, and Ugly. This is released in 1998. A lot of those are out of print, by the way, so I just had to throw that out there. Alright, next album, we go with Chubb Rock with his, I want to say his fifth album, I would say. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, his fifth album, The Mind, released in 1997. Fucking love this album. Very underrated album. There's two singles of the album. The song B featuring PMD and Das Effects and The Life. Those are the singles of the album. I love the production on this album. I mean, he got production by KRS-One, Easy Mo B, Nick Wiz, Domingo. I mean, I could go on and on, but he definitely did his thing on this album, man. Really enjoyed this album. Because for years I had the album on the digital. Like I downloaded it and I enjoyed what I heard, but finally got this album. Cause this album is a little hard to find. A lot of his albums are hard to find. He usually goes for a little bit of money. Around like the $15 range, like around that time, like around that price range. You'll expect to find this album, and if you're lucky, But I got it for a great price. So, the standout tracks for me, Reputation, that was pretty dope. Dope way to start the album. I Am What I Am, fucking love that. Dope beat by Easy Mo B. The Mind, fucking love that self-titled track. That was produced by Nick Wiz. That shit goes hard. Games We Play, that's another dope joint right there. Don't Sleep was pretty dope. Clear the Decks, East versus West remix was pretty dope. Mr. Rock and Party Rock, yeah, the whole album is fucking dope, man. It's pretty dope, straightforward, nothing too crazy, you know what I mean? It's an easy listen, but yeah, pretty good, straightforward, dope beats, dope lyrics. We can't go wrong with it. Chubb Rock is very underrated, and it's again like, unfortunately, when it comes to like big, like overweight MCs, like they always get categorized into like one thing, and Biggie, rest in peace to Biggie, that got killed in the same year, 97. That's all they think about. It's either Big Pun or or Biggie, but they never mention him. They don't even talk about Heavy D. They don't even show him love. Like people's like, yeah, Heavy D, he's a fun rapper. Like, nah, but he was dope on the mic. But people don't give him props. But yeah, Chubb Rock, with the Mind, released in 1997. Dope album. Alright, you got 1, 2, 3. I got 4 more, and then I'm gonna cut it short. Alright, next album we're gonna go to Jamaica. We're going with Sizzla Kalonji with Burning Up, released in 1995. This is his debut album. Fucking dope album. Really enjoyed this album. I don't think there were like any singles off this album, but the songs I do like is How Much, Can't Hurt the Mind, The Poor, that shit goes hard. Search for Hardcore, that was pretty dope. Guntin Don't Pay, This Gangster, Dreams, and We Want Love. Like those songs are fire to me, man. This whole album is pretty dope, man. So yeah, pretty good stuff. SZA with Burning Up, released in 1995. This is his debut album. Alright, we got 3 more. Alright, this is like the more of the rarities, you know, the kind of thing. I'm so glad I have this album. And we're gonna go to Houston, Texas, man. Yeah, man, I'm so glad I got this shit right here. I'm gonna go with Point Blank, Prone to Bad Dreams. This was released in 1992. Point Blank, he's an MC from Houston, Texas. He's known for his affiliation with he was part of the South Park Coalition, which consisted of Point Blank, K Reno, Gangsta Nib, PSK 13, I think, and a couple other people. I can't name them all, but can't on top of my head. But yeah, he's part of the South Park Coalition. And again, if you guys are familiar with Gangsta Nib, like I've mentioned him before, it's pretty much the same thing. You know what I mean? I think he did the majority of beats himself. You know, so that's what kind of gives it like a little of its charm. You know, it's like kind of amateurish, like demo-ish, but it works. You know what I mean? So it's like very low budget feel, but it's like a horror. It's like listening to like, it's like watching like a late 80s horror movie. Like that's how I could describe this music, you know what I mean? But the songs that I do like, that stood out to me, for me, was Point Blank, After I Die, Cut You in Half, Life, Rep, or Death, Knock Them Hoes Out the Box, Bitch Shit I Raped Her, Prone to Bad Dreams. I love the beat for that, shit goes hard. Aggravated, and Nothing Ass Bitch. Those are the standout tracks. Pretty much the whole album is fucking dope, man. But the songs that I mentioned is the ones that I listen to the most, and that's what I have on my iPod. But yeah, man, really good album. Glad I got this. Because for years, this album was like long out of print, and I got this from like Smoke On Records. So definitely check them out. You know what I mean? They're based out in Europe, but you know, definitely worth trying to get. You know what I mean? But yeah, because like usually trying to get this online, like their OG pressing, good luck trying to find that. Cause it goes for like kilo prices. Like it's expensive. Like I've seen it go for as much as $150, $300. It's not that serious. And my only gripe with this album, the fact I don't like the fact that it's digipack. I fucking hate digipacks. That's number one. Number two, with this album, the mixing is like. Is like, ugh, oh my god, like it's very like low. I love lo-fi, but it's just like they needed to work on the mixing, and it's not just this album, because a lot of albums in the early '90s suffered from that. So that's like one of those things. But I guess it gives it's part of its charm, if you will. You know what I mean? But this is Point Blank with Prone to Bad Dreams. This is his debut album. It's released in 1992. Definitely pick it up. You can find it. Definitely pick it up. And we got 2 more. The next album, we go to the Bronx, South Bronx, New York. We go with my man 9 with Death of a Demo, released in 1994. You guys should know who 9 is. I showed you guys his 9 Lives album and his Cloud 9 album. Pretty much, this is pretty much like the demo version of 9 Lives, like songs that he made for 9 Lives, but he scrapped. But yeah, pretty fucking dope, man. I'm so glad I got this. So if you guys like that 9 Lives album, then you definitely enjoy this album. You got songs like Funkmaster Flex and N9 Double M, that was pretty dope. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Creeping Up, Turn Off the Lights, Lyrics, Blood on My Blade, that's my favorite joint right there. Macadamia Nuts is another joint that's my favorite too. When the shit hits the fan, the extended version, that shit goes hard. I've heard that before. It was released to like around like as a 12-inch. I think it was the B side to I forgot the song. It's like the single of the second album. I forgot the name, but I think Everybody Get, I think it's called. I believe that was just one of the singles of that album. But yeah, and Knocked. But this is pretty good. Like I said, this is like the demo version of Non-Live. So if you guys like that album, then you guys will definitely enjoy this album. Very, very dope. It says this demo album was recorded in 1994, and you definitely tell. You can definitely tell. It definitely has that 93, 94 kind of vibe to it. But yeah, really dirty, very gritty. You know, I just love that shit. Death of a Demo by 9, released in 2018. Alright. Last but not least, speaking of 9, we go with the 9 Commandments. It's just released in 2018 as well. Again, this is pretty much the demo version of Non-Live's pretty dope shit right here. You got songs like Afraid of the Dark, Piece of the Pie with Ari the Exorcist, pretty dope shit right there. Darkness, Ghetto Near You, that's the song, Ghetto Near You. That was the B-side. No, Ghetto Near You was a single off the Cloud9 album, I believe. But the one, the shit hits the fan, was the B-side to Ghetto Near You. So I just had to throw that out there. So Ghetto Near You, Peace God featuring True Love, RZA and Third Eye, aka Jesse West, Rah Rah Nigga with Sadat X, Warriors original mix was with Bounty Killer. And I know some mixtapes it was called Formaldehyde. But it's like the same song but like a different beat, that kind of thing. Chicken Wings and Rice, the original version. That song I believe uses the Prince sample. I forgot the name of it, but it uses that sample. If I Was a Girlfriend, that was the joint right there. Everybody with all the Exorcists. Matter of fact, for those that know who the Exorcist, all the Exorcists is, if you guys seen the video for the Overconfident from his first album, the dude that spit the second verse, that's him right there. He was dope, man. I would have loved to hear an album from him, but unfortunately, after the release of the first album, I believe he went to jail. He got jammed up for life. He got bagged. He was sent to prison for life, I think for like murder or some shit like that. So it's just unfortunate. Everybody and Formaldehyde. Alright. So like I said, demo version of Non-Live. So if you guys like that album, the guys will definitely enjoy this. So definitely worth picking up. And that's it, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Definitely stay tuned for more, alright? Peace.